Okay, we have a very, very special guest today. He is an analyst and podcaster for GiantsCountry.com, host of Tommy's Takes, Tommy G. Tommy, how's it going?
What's up, Jimmy? That was an amazing introduction. First and
Thank
foremost, thank you for having me on. The Giants are on the come up. Yankees are the best team in baseball for the month of May. Aaron Judge is the king of New York. And I give you my word, I will not sit with 2 outs in the ALCS if the Yankees make it. How are you, Jimmy?
I love that. I've been better actually. I was just in 2 hours of traffic and I'm getting there. I just no free ads, but got a spin drift ready to
settle in.
Hydrated, ready to go. And before we get into the Giants, because that's what you're on here for, you are the Giants guy. You're an analyst. You're going to break all that stuff down for us. But I just want to talk about this. And this segment's called National Treasure. And this week's National Treasure is, in fact, the horse, National Treasure, who fought tooth and nail. I was on a bachelor party this week, right? And one of the guys in our group chats goes, National Treasure. Another go, hot tip, National Treasure. We did National Treasure. He went from at the Preakness in Baltimore. He went from start to finish, tooth and nail, beating out Blazing Sevens, Bob Baffert's horse does it again. I was sweating. Woo. I usually don't bet on horse racing except the big three. Tommy, let me tell you something. I have this video and I might do it in post edit and get me. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. So shout out to National Treasure. And you know what? I'm going to swing it over to you. I didn't ask you about this, but if you want to throw out a National Treasure of the week, go ahead.
Yeah, so just pick anything?
Yeah, pick anyone.
All right, my National Treasure of the week, I'm going to go with Daniel Jones, the guy right behind your wall. First day of OTAs today. First day he gets to see his new weapons. And what do you see out there? A cheese smile from ear to ear from number 8, Daniel Jones. He's going to have a huge season, added big-time weapons for him. That is and always has been my National Treasure. It's going to be a big year for him, Jimmy.
Yeah, and you are I read your tweets. You do a great job over at Twitter, and I read your tweets a lot, and you're a very positive Giants fan. I think you're also a realistic Giants fan. But Daniel Jones, I mean, he got his contract. He's going to be the leader for the next few years. And yeah, I love it. Start of OTAs today. There's a bunch of NFL news just coming out little by little. What did you think about this new rule? I mean, they're flexing. Did you just see what just came down?
Yeah, I hate it, dude. Listen, Jimmy, as a season ticket holder, someone that goes to the games every single year, how do you flex Thursday night games, right? So I understand the NFL's a moneymaker, right? They want to play games on Christmas. They want to play games on Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve, Black Friday, rainy Wednesday, whatever it is. But you can't flex Thursday night games. These games are scheduled weeks and months out. People, families, they make plans. They buy their tickets. They get hotel arrangements around these games. Like, I get it. We all want to see the best games. Thursday night games are typically brutal. Let's be honest. These athletes are coming off short weeks playing the Sundays. It's just ridiculous. So to flex those games is just, to me, a bad cherry on top of having Thursday night games. I, for one, was all for getting rid of them. I'm good with Sunday, Monday, Saturday, whatever it is. I'm not sure about the Black Friday one. We'll see how that goes. But to flex a Thursday night game, I mean, what about these people that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on PSLs and tickets, and they're like, hey, a few days out, a week out, hey, this game's being flexed. Sorry, make arrangements. So it's tough. I understand the money piece, Jimmy, but it's really, really tough when you dig down into the fan base.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a fair take. I did see that they had to be notified 28 days beforehand.
Right.
But still, you're right. If I'm spending every single dollar because I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan and I'm coming in to see the Jets Giants play, and now it's getting flexed to Thursday night football, I have to change my arrangements. So I understand it. And it doesn't really affect me as much because I'm the guy. Love the New York Giants, die for the New York Giants, but also at the same time, I'm sitting on my couch watching two screens at the same time, making sure my fantasy team's doing well, and analyzing football as that comes. And again, we'll get into the Giants in a second. Because it always ends up with when it comes to Tommy G, it starts and finishes with the New York Football Giants.
I'm waiting.
But you did say something. Aaron Judge this week, he was named MLB Player of the Week. He went 11 for 22 with 5 home runs, 2 doubles, and a 1.894 OPS in 6 games. We just had to bring that in there real quick.
Listen, Jimmy,
we're gonna
last 8 games
dice real quick.
Listen, real quick. Sorry to cut you off. Last 8 games for Aaron Judge, batting .452, 8 home runs, 16 RBIs. That's the king of New York.
King of New York. And the Pop Smoke song, when he comes up, says it all. So, he's unbelievable. Luis Severino returned, and that was enough Yankee talk, but we had to get it in a little bit for you. And also, no, I do want to say one more thing. What Peacock did yesterday with the New York Yankees Reds game, I want that investigated, because Vince McMahon or Triple H or whoever's in charge of the WWE now, they came like Sting down from the top rope. Boone gets ejected within the first 15 minutes. The WWE wrestlers are throwing out the first pitch. They're getting interviewed in the middle of the game. Then the manager for the Reds gets tossed. And listen, again, I'm here for it. Like if somebody told me before the game, hey, listen, you're going to get tossed in this random game in Cincinnati, I'm here for it all. But don't tell, I know a setup when I see one. That was an absolute setup.
That thing was scripted to the T.
Scripted to the T, and Aaron Judge was nowhere to be found because he said, I don't want any part of this tomfoolery. You want to do it on Sunday at 11:30. I'll take the day off, and the Yankees have the day off today. All right, enough baseball, enough horse racing. Switch over to the NBA for 2 seconds, because Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra and Miami Heat are up 3-0 against the Celtics. Is just quite unbelievable.
Not even competitive, man. That's a shocker. You know, when Boston came into that series, they were smoking hot. Not even competitive. You know, you got Jimmy Butler making a mockery out of them out there. And you know what? Kudos to Jimmy Butler. He's a phenomenal player. He's a clutch player, primetime performer. You've seen him do this the last couple seasons in the playoffs. I mean, you know, if you're Boston, they asked Tatum at the end of the game, you know, do you think you guys can come back from down 0-3? Do you think you got it in you? And he's like, well, yeah, I guess we're supposed to think that, right? They're done. Finish, stick a fork in them. It's going to be Miami, Denver. Interesting final, Jimmy.
Yeah. I'm still shocked, absolutely stunned. Not with the Nuggets. I mean, Murray played unbelievable. Obviously, Nikola Jokic is the best player in basketball. He's saying all the right things up 3-0. Maybe the Lakers take one.
Right.
But really, at the end of the day, that's our sports recap for the week. I appreciate Tommy. Like, Tommy just came in here. I didn't tell him that he was going to do that. He just rose to the occasion, hit a couple free throws, and now we're going to get to his specialty, the New York Football Giants.
Oh.
All right. Door A is the schedule, and door B is the draft. Which one do you want to go with first?
Let's do door B. We'll do draft / off season really quick.
Okay.
How's that sound?
All right. So the Giants get Darren Waller in the offseason, and then they go and get Deontay Bakes, John Michael Schmitz, and a guy I know you love and I love as well, Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. What are your thoughts overall? An offseason draft grade so far? I'm sure you loved it, right?
Yeah, let's be honest. I give it an A. I don't give a lot of things A+. I give it an A. Tremendous offseason. You know, when they walked off that field at the Link in Philly, 38-7 loss, divisional playoff, they had a clear direction of where they needed to go, right? You need to lock up your franchise quarterback, Daniel Jones. Check. You wanted to retain Saquon Barkley. So check. We'll see how that plays out. You wanted to add playmakers to support Daniel Jones. They signed speedy wide receiver Parrish Campbell from the Colts. He's coming off a career year with a disastrous quarterback situation there. Then you trade for Darren Waller, who, if healthy, is a top 3 to 5 tight end in the league. You re-sign Darius Slayton, and then in the draft, you get the Alabama killer, Jalen Hyatt. and they got him a lot lower than they thought they would. They were going to get him in the second round. If you see the Giants' life, it's like, all right, John Michael Schmitz or Jalen Hyatt. So Schmitz gets taken. They're taking Hyatt. They get him an extra round back. So to me, those first three, Banks, Schmitz, Hyatt, I've seen mocks, and I'm sure you've seen them too, had all three of those players going to the Giants in the first round. To me, that's remarkable. And then when you look at defensively, right, they had a bottom 5 run defense. First thing Joe Schoen does is sign a middle linebacker, an actual real middle linebacker. No shade to Blake Martinez. He did a solid job while he was here. You got Bobby Okereke from the Colts. Then he beefs up the D-line. You get Ashawn Robinson, Nunez Roche, right? You want to fix the secondary. You draft Deonte Banks out of Maryland, shutdown corner, runs a 4.36 40, physical against the run. Guy looks like he was made in the lab. To me, that was a knockout the park, Jimmy.
Love it. That's the insight you get when Tommy G comes on. Absolutely wild. All right, let's go to the schedule now. And this is a really tough schedule. Ooh. Other than the Arizona Cardinals in week 2, I believe, this schedule is just murderer's row.
Oh,
Cowboys, Cardinals. I don't want to sound like Francesa, or maybe I do. 49ers, Seahawks, Dolphins, Bills. They play in the AFC East, which in my opinion is either of them or the AFC West, but just a phenomenal division. They're going to have to play Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Bill Belichick. So it's not going to be easy. Your thoughts on the schedule? Did Goodell screw the New York Giants?
That's funny you say that, because Giants owner John Mara has been, let's say, outspoken against the Thursday night flexing. And some people were saying, this is the way for Goodell to stick it to him. And this is one of the toughest schedules I ever seen. I mean, you look at it, you start Sunday night at home versus Dallas. Giants feels like they haven't beaten Dallas in about a decade. Then you go at Arizona, you get a little reprieve. Arizona is not going to be a good team. They're going to be fighting for the number 1 pick. Then you go at Arizona, home versus Seattle, at Miami, at Buffalo. I mean, and look at the primetime games. Jimmy, you got San Fran, one of the premier teams in the NFL, Thursday night. The Dallas opener, right? Then you have the Eagles, 2 out of the last 3 games. Very difficult schedule, but I'll tell you this, Jimmy. Last year's schedule was soft. That was the schedule where this Giants team learned how to win close games. I know people use that as a negative. The Giants won a lot of 1-score games. That's not going to happen this year. But check me out. This is the schedule where you get to see what this Giants football team is, how far along they are in the rebuild, right? You're playing the Niners. You're playing Dallas. You're playing one game I'm really looking forward to, Jimmy, is at Buffalo, Sunday night, prime time. Daniel Jones, Josh Allen. The stage is set. So if the Giants are going to take that next step and they're going to be one of the NFL's elite teams, already won a playoff game last year, the stage is set. But the stage is also set to where if you fall on your face, there's not many soft spots in the schedule.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. I will say this, and I said this to the entertainer, and this NFC is just so soft this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, if you're not playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and I know we look at, September 21st against the San Francisco 49ers, and that's going to be an L. And I'm just going to say it right now.
That's
it's going to be an L. They're a more physical team than the Giants. And listen, Giants are going to win some games. They could possibly beat a team like Miami, but those big teams like the 49ers, like the Bills that you said, the game against the Jets is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really electric to see Aaron Rodgers versus the Giants. You're more optimistic than me. When I see this schedule, I see a lot of L's, and that has nothing to do with Dable or Shane or even the way that this roster is going. But 14 months ago, this team was an absolute travesty, a joke of a franchise. And when you get a meaty schedule like this, you have to look back and you have to say, hey, listen, I might not be that optimistic this year. Last year might have been, I don't even want to call it a mirage. It wasn't, like you said, it was an easy schedule. So if they can go 9-8, 10-7, which I'll get your prediction afterwards, I think they will have a chance at that 6th seed. And realistically, once you're in the big dance, we know it as Eli Manning stands, anything can happen.
Eli Manning, baby. Shout out Eli Manning. Got him on my wall. Him and LT.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's do it. I do something every week called fill in the blank. So this is the first question is going to be Daniel Jones will throw for blank touchdowns in 2023.
Oh, I like this. I'm going to go with 28.
28. Okay, I like that. How many did he have? Yeah, he had like 17 last year, right?
Yeah, I want to say it was 17 and 5.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, and again, he has much better receiver core. What really what'll come down to is if the line will hold up for him because he clearly can get it done, and he's shown that. All right, fill in the blank number 2. Darren Waller will have blank catches in 2023.
Oh, it's a good one. You know, it's funny when you try to predict stats like this for this specific Giants offensive unit. There's a lot of balls that need to go around, right? Saquon needs touches, Waller needs touches. You know, Darius Slayton, Hodgins, whoever you want to pick. You know, receptions wise, you know, I'd be happy with 65, 70 range. Let's call it 65. You know, hopefully he stays healthy. That's the key for Waller.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And that is the truth about it is, you know, there's 5 or 6 guys who can catch balls for the Giants. And, you know, if they're all catching 40 balls, they're doing their job for Daniel Jones. And yeah, Saquon is going to be the guy that, you know, brings his team to the promised land or, you know, is going to be, I mean, if he stays healthy, this team can go as far as anyone. And I think that's the reason why they signed him, even though I'm on the other side because I am just such a nerd GM and I don't pay running backs and that's just how I am. But I understand what he means to the city,
right?
What he means to the team, what he means to the organization. So I understand that they had to sign him. But I think that those like really top tier teams don't pay running backs.
Right.
Obviously, the makeup of this team is completely different.
It's a tough situation too for a young GM. You have a player that you definitely don't want to pay a running back over 25 years old. That's already been proven. That's a fact in the books. But this running back is the face of the New York Giants, right? You know, last year when you'd see those marquee pictures of, you know, Giants are playing Green Bay in London, it's Saquon Barkley up there. Now it's starting to transition to Daniel Jones, but you go to MetLife, Jimmy. You know, I was at MetLife several times last year, opening day. You look in the stands, it's all number 26s out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's as much as Yankees are with Aaron Judge, the Giants are with Saquon Barkley. And there's a reason because he is a phenomenal talent. Again, probably shouldn't have been second overall drafted. Shout out Dave Gettleman, but it is.
Agree.
All right, number 3. Blank will have the most tackles for the New York Giants in 2023.
Most tackles. Yeah, I'll go with the new guy from Indy, Bobby Okereke. I think he's gonna, you know, he's a sideline to sideline linebacker, something the Giants haven't really had. Even Blake Martinez was more of a stationary linebacker. And if you watch those Eagles games when the Eagles dominated the Giants last season, it was Jalen Hurts, read option, right to the sideline, right to the linebackers had no speed to get out to the sideline. Bobby, this kid has it, you know, Bobby Okereke. So I'm going to say him. He's definitely topping 100 tackles.
Yeah, and let's just switch it up for a second. The Eagles, they just did everything in the draft that they needed to do. And I saw my buddy over the weekend, huge Eagles fan, and I'm just pestering him like, listen, you know that if you don't make it to the Super Bowl again, it's an absolute failure considering how good your roster is. So if you have any Eagles friends out there or you're talking to Eagles fans, just let them know. That's the bar for them this year. If the Eagles, same thing with the New York Yankees. Every year the Yankees lose, it's a disappointment. The Eagles this year, if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, with the second best team in the NFC being the 49ers with Sam Darnold as their quarterback, Eagles fans, I'm talking to you right now, Eagles fans. You are a major disappointment if you don't make the Super Bowl. Major disappointment if you don't make the Super Bowl. Shout out to Harry Roseman for just doing an unbelievable job over there. All right. Final fill in the blank. The Giants will have a blank and blank record in 2023.
I'm going to go 10-7.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
It's a little bit ambitious of me, but listen, this is the thing. You know what? You got the coaching staff in place. This is one of the better coaching staffs, right? You got a tremendous front office, right? You got Joe Shane, Brandon Brown. You got a front office that is a top front office. They just signed Ryan Cowden. He's going to be in the front office. This front office is great. So when you see a season like last year, Jimmy, where the Giants are getting injury after injury during the season, but they don't miss a beat because the front office is identifying players, picking players up. Coaching staff is getting them acclimated within a week, and they're on the field. They got the right front office, the right coaching staff. Gotta stay healthy. Have to stay healthy. This roster is still very thin despite the additions.
yeah, you make a really good point. And as far as just mentality and everything, I used to just dive so deep into the draft. I wanted to know everything about it. And it's because Gettleman was the GM and you wanted to just push out an agenda for them.
Yep.
And when it comes to, it's just so easy to sit back when Joe Shane's in charge and he's just has such a good plan. And I knew undoubtedly that I knew these players better than Dave Gettleman. But when you look there and like someone's asking me, who do I want? I'm like, I want the guy that Joe Shane wants. Like,
Absolutely.
I am so hands off on this team now. And yeah, I mean, shout out to the Mariners for getting it right this time, and they're building off it. And I mean, how could you not love a guy like Brian Dable? Like, he is just an unbelievable guy through and through.
You just made a good point, Jimmy, if I may. John Mara took a lot of heat this last decade of darkness, right? Rightfully so. He's the owner. He's the boss. What happens under him is his responsibility, right? At the same time, give the guy credit. He's giving Joe Shane the keys to the car. People are like, well, I'm sure he had something to do with Daniel Jones. Listen, Joe Shane has the keys to this. He's hired outside of the organization, right? You got Brandon Brown. He interviewed as a GM for the Eagles, right? You have this guy, Cowden, that they just brought in. Dennis Hickey, former Dolphins GM, all out of the organization. No nepotism. So give Mara his credit. He finally righted this ship. He stepped back. He said, you know what? We need personnel changes. His nephew, Tim McDonald, he did the right thing. So I want to give him credit because we really, really destroyed him the last 10 years.
Yeah. And, again, it's hard to win an NFL. And it's hard to fire. It's really easy to just say, fire this guy, fire that guy.
Right.
It's hard to fire a coach before 2 years. And, they made the right decision. And they brought in people that we were asking for. And Shane's just unbelievable. But yeah, shout out to the Mariners. I think they did a really good job turning this, just the hope of the Giants fans around. Again, we're not sitting here, or at least I'm not sitting here and pretending like this team is going to win a Super Bowl this year.
No, a lot of work to be done.
But a lot of work to be done. Maybe put that on a t-shirt because we're going to need it. We're going to need.
Speaking of, hey, wait a minute. Speaking of t-shirts, I hear you're the man around here with t-shirts. Is that true?
That is true.
I would like a t-shirt.
True.
I would like a Tommy's Takes t-shirt from Jimmy.
Tommy's Takes t-shirt. Well, we're slinging the Screw Houston's t-shirts right now.
Those are sick.
Yeah, we'll get you one. I'll definitely get you one over there for 1,000%. We're going to get you a Tommy a shirt. Absolutely. That must be done. And we're working on a Jason Dominguez one now.
Yes,
too.
sir.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I think that it's refreshing because for the last few years, I wouldn't be able to even have a guy like you on to talk about the Giants. And, and that speaks a lot to you for sticking with them. And, guys like License Plate Guy and the Entertainer and other guys who just stick heavy to their niche, which is the New York Giants. I'm more of a Yankees guy when it comes to that. And then I skew with NFL because, like I said, I get a lot into the numbers with the NFL. And once we do have, once the NFL is on weekly and we get back into it, we can really dive into it and really go into matchups and point spreads and
strategy,
fantasy odds. And I did want to ask you a few things because you did prepare so well for the NFL draft. A couple guys that you think that are going to do well in fantasy drafts coming up that are rookies coming out.
Yeah, that's a good one. I want to say first one comes to mind is Jordan Addison, Minnesota. Minnesota has a top flight passing game, right? They have Justin Jefferson on the other side. So you interject this rookie, you put him in there. He can run every route in the route tree. Played very well in college at Pittsburgh, then USC. Was unfortunate the Giants didn't get him. I know the Giants had their eye on him. I know that for a fact, but the way things didn't, it was funny with the draft for the Giants. The first 13 picks, the Giants are sitting lovely. Only one cornerback gets drafted, no wide receivers. Then all of a sudden, the next 8 picks, you see 3 cornerbacks and 4 receivers off the board. So, one would be Jordan Addison. If I had to go and do a wild card, I'm going to say Bryce Young. When he gets in there, I know a lot of people are kind of down on his size, and obviously Panthers are rebuilding, but they got DJ Moore, right? They signed a couple of pieces. I think Bryce Young is going to be a very good rookie quarterback. Once he starts and once he gets in there, I think he could put up some numbers. You might have to draft him, stash him later rounds, but watch out for Jordan Addison. He's going to put up some numbers across from Jefferson.
Love that. Love that insight. And obviously the obvious answer is Bijan Robinson too, but
absolutely,
you're not going when people zig, you zag. That's the right. I'm drafting Jordan Addison this year. Absolutely. It's happening. All right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have too much about the Giants.
I have a story, Jimmy.
Yeah. Tell me.
So about a year ago, I started doing content, right? And I don't know if you remember this. And I tweeted something out basically to the effect of, I just want to do this full time one day. I have a lot of great ideas. I know I could do this. I just need one person to believe in me, right? And at the time, I don't know, I had maybe 500 followers, 600 followers, got a couple likes, couple comments. And then I see it gets a quote tweet. And the quote tweet says, "I believe in you, Tommy." And that was you. And I just wanted to say thank you, man. That really meant a lot to me because at the time, you know how Twitter is. It goes by your following. Basically it's all a numbers game. So that really meant a lot to me. And that told me, hey, you know what? Somebody like that I respect and admire is watching me. So that helped me keep pushing. So I didn't want to get through this show without bringing that up. And it was almost a year to the day, believe it or not. So thank you. That was very stand up for you, Jimmy.
Wow. I didn't even know I did that. Listen, I mean, yeah, I think you do a great job, and you do. Just keep on grinding. Like the stuff you were talking about, the defensive players kind of went over my head. When you grind and you put in work and you find your niche and you continue to push, you can do anything. So yeah, absolutely. I love that story. I mean, shout out me, I guess. Like I don't like to do that often, but shout out me, awesome, I guess. Dude. No, I mean, listen, you're over on Twitter now. You got 8,000 followers. You have the YouTube channel. I mean, you have a lot more subscribers than me right now on YouTube. I'm just starting this thing fresh, but yeah, no, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I guess shout out to me as well. And it
meant a lot to me, man.
I really think that anybody, like I was working at a law firm, I was unhappy. I started writing, and I started doing fantasy football takes and getting takes off. And then one day I was still at the law firm and I was running coffee for people like Greg Olson. And, you just start to do things. And, the best advice I would ever give anyone is just to keep on going, because I don't feel like I have achieved anything. I truly don't. Right. I feel like I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and, I will always play with that chip on my shoulder, whether I had 0 followers from the beginning or 1 million. I'll think I'm the best, and I'm going to go, 100%, not every single day we can do it, but yeah, believe in yourself. And, there are people that can't do it. Some people don't have the talent, but you do have the wherewithal and you do have the talent, and you're putting up work and you're putting up numbers. Numbers don't lie. So just keep on having at it. And, maybe you start, you have this one thing and you start something else and you just continue to build. And I think you've really been doing a great job with it. So I really appreciate you coming on.
And you too, man. Don't be too humble. You do a phenomenal job. Your energy, your excitement. You put up some tweets, dude, and the Yankee fan base is just flooded in those tweets, man. You have to refresh it, and they just boom, 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 boom. So you do an amazing job. Positive energy, great energy. I love your work. I love your stuff. I follow every move you do. I try to work, I try to give that type of energy to the Giants fans as a Giants content creator analyst. You do a phenomenal job. I don't do shows with everybody. That's not because of me or who I think I am. It's just who I share the energy with and who I work with. But as soon as you hit me up, man, I smiled ear to ear, dude. You're dope at what you do.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I actually kind of needed it today. That traffic really beat me up today. So I really do. I know. I appreciate that's really nice. I think this was the nicest moment we've had so far in the Jimmy Randazzo show. And we're gonna try to do some new stuff on here too. I'm thinking about bringing a comedian on soon. But, why not? Let's get nuts. Why not? But yeah, appreciate you, Tommy G. We're gonna have you back on. So news breaks. We need some Giants takes. We're going to hit up Tommy G. Go check out Tommy G. What's the Twitter handle?
Tommy G 105 is the Twitter handle. I do a podcast twice weekly on Giants Country YouTube. Check me out on there. It's called Tommy's Takes. It's executive produced by Patricia Traynor. She's a beat reporter for the Giants. She's absolutely phenomenal. Twice a week, Tommy's Takes, Giants Country YouTube. I appreciate all the support.
Absolutely. Boom. Everybody go check it out and have a great week. We're gonna keep this tight today. Keep it short, tight, and everybody have a great week and believe in yourselves. I don't care if you're a Yankees guy, a Giants guy, you want to be the best at making the next big pair of shoes. Believe in yourself, wake up, grind, and have a wonderful time doing it. Have a good one, Tommy. Thanks for coming on.